From Mount Royal Collegiate in Saskatoon, high school basketball is on Shaw TV. Good evening from Mount Royal, everybody. I'm Simon Hyde alongside Paul Engen once again as we've got a doubleheader of Championship League title game action coming your way tonight. Game 1 will be the girls' game, the title game in Championship League play, as it will be the 8-1 Evan Hardy Souls taking on 7-2 Saskatoon Christian School. Paul, as I welcome you in, always an interesting situation when we talk about this Championship League. It's a league on the girls' side, features just 4 teams. Each team plays each other 3 times throughout the year. That means these 2 teams know each other very well coming into this championship game.
Definitely. They've played the 3 games against each other. They've both had success. They both had a little bit of frustration. I know Saskatoon Christian's coming off a little bit of injuries, so they're looking forward to showing their stuff again. And but it's just a great opportunity for them to cap off a season and to play for a championship. Everybody's excited about that.
Absolutely. These 2 teams did meet 3 times throughout the year, as I mentioned. The home team winning each and every game, but of course, this title game being played on a neutral court at Mount Royal, so no real advantage there. Should be in for a good one on the girls' side. Also looking like a good one on the boys' side, as we've got the 10-0 Bedford Road Redhawks looking to maintain and finish off that perfect season. They will be taking on Saskatoon Christian School as well. When we talk about this Bedford Road team, great defensive team, the only team in the league to allow fewer than 600 points over the course of the season. The flip side, Saskatoon Christian School, the only team in the league to score 800 or more points, so should be an interesting battle.
Yeah, it's just kind of a classic battle between defense versus offense. Bedford runs a nice 1-3-1, and they really cause havoc for the other team. Now that's the job of Saskatoon Christian, is see if they can get there before they can set up and have an opportunity to score. They like to score quick, and obviously they can score in big amounts. So it is a kind of that defensive offensive game that everybody kind of gets excited. Who's gonna win that side there?
Absolutely. Great doubleheader of basketball action coming your way on Shaw TV, and it all gets going next. So just about ready to tip things off from Mount Royal Collegiate. It is title time from Mount Royal. Simon Hyde, Paul Engen with you tonight, bringing you the girls' final in the Championship League, as it is Evan Hardy Souls taking on the Saskatoon Christian School Cougars. Set the starting lineups for you. First, the Evan Hardy Souls home team in tonight's game. Number 5, Taylor Rack. Number 9, Katie Perpick. Number 10, Jenny Dimitrition. 11 is Mackenzie Anwani, and 13, Kendra Cuff. Evan Hardy Souls wearing the white uniforms with the blue and gold trim, and they control the opening tip into the hands of Jenny Dimitrition. She'll push in the other direction for the Souls, looking to bounce it through traffic, finding only the hands of Saskatoon Christian players, however.
Yeah, it should be a good battle of 2 teams that are definitely the top of their division, and I'm sure they're looking forward to each other to kind of a rubber match of sort.
First possession of the evening for Saskatoon Christian goes as a turnover. Set their starting lineup for you. Saskatoon Christian School Cougars wearing the dark blue uniforms with the white trim. Number 5, Jasmine Rapetsky. That's number 6, Kayla Wegner, putting up their first shot of the night off the mark. Number 7, Taylor Furster. 9, Mackenzie Masic, and 10, Kylie Fredland.
Looks like both teams are trying to get some shots in early. We've got a turnover here. I think it's going to be a battle on the boards, who can control the boards, and it'll be an opportunity to score if they can get control there.
Ball will stay with Saskatoon Christian School, just underway in this one. Still looking for our first points of the game. Evan Hardy showing some pressure on the inbounds, and it does force the turnover there. Coming up with the ball, Jasmine Rapetsky. Pardon me, for Evan Hardy, that's Taylor Rack coming away with it. Unable to come away with points, however. Scrambly play here. Evan Hardy able to come up with it briefly. Then we'll get a held ball. Tie-up possession arrow favoring Saskatoon Christian School.
I know that ball control is going to be a big thing for Saskatoon Christian, because talking to their coaches earlier this season, their turnovers are pretty high per game. And once again, as we speak of that, they turn it over. But they're also missing their grade 12 guard, who is out probably the rest of the season with a concussion. So that hurts them a lot.
Yeah, Abigail Young, who actually came to Saskatoon from North Carolina, in grade 10. Broke her nose apparently in practice in February, which is a tough way to go. Has been sidelined with those post-concussion symptoms. So you said it, they're having to play without one of their real stars.
I think it's just a reset on the clock.
On the shot, sure.
Yeah.
Paul. Just about a minute and a half into this one. Still looking for our first points in this championship game. Does remain Evan Hardy ball out of bounds. This is Evan Hardy working it around on the exterior. Nice touch from outside. Taylor Rack for three. Again, Saskatoon Christian looking to move the ball in a hurry. Again, though, it leads to a turnover. Evan Hardy on the run, thought maybe extra step there. Missing the shot for Hardy was Kendrick Huff, so Saskatoon Christian on the run in the other direction. Contact there, down to the ground goes Taylor Firster. We'll get a foul called against Jenny Dimitrition.
I'm reminded of last year's final where Saskatoon Christian did beat Marion Graham. Firster had a fantabulous first half last year and just set the tone. And she needs to do that again this year just so that she can get her team going.
Alicia Kraft in her first shift of the night for Saskatoon Christian School, sending Katie Perpick to the bench. First free throw good for Taylor Firster. And Firster has the first points. Hits them both, make it a one-point game, 8:15 to go. First quarter of action in this championship final from Mount Royal. Simon Hyde, Paul Engen with you. Carry going to be called against Evan Hardy's Kendrick Huff. Back over to Christian.
Yeah, it looks like it's been man-to-man for Hardy so far this. I'm not sure what they normally play, but right now it's strictly man-to-man, a lot of pressure.
Good ball movement ends up in the hands of Kylie Fredlin. She comes away with baskets, and Christian hangs on to the ball. They force the Evan Hardy turnover. So they just took a one-point lead. Now a chance to add to it. This is Firster looking to drive, gets it to go. So Saskatoon Christian a little sluggish out of the gate. A lot of turnovers in the early going, but nice little series there for them.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the rebounding, ball control, I mean, the basic fundamentals are going to be key in this game. And like they are in most championship games, we just got to do the small things and then the rest of the good things come after.
Good job to get up there and keep that ball alive for Taylor Rack. A couple steps towards the basket. That one won't go. Coming away with it is Firster. She gets it into the hands of Fredlin. She might look to go on the run. Just got a little too deep. Second chance, Saskatoon Christian. That one no good for Rapetsky.
I know that both of these teams are quite young, so when you talk about turnovers and missed shots, it's kind of a common thing, but they are developing for the future. Both of these, there's a couple of grade 12s on the Hardy team, but for the most part, all these are grade 10 and 11s really battling it out. So we'll see some errors, but a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Stacy Bolt about that before the game. Is a very young Evan Hardy Souls team, just 3 senior players, so a team that you know could be good for the next couple of years if they can keep these players on the roster. Alicia Kraft, a nice touch just beyond the free throw line, makes it a one-point game. Kayla Wegner controls now. Firster will look to take it in once again, back to a one-point Saskatoon Christian lead.
Maybe those first 2 minutes were a little bit of nerves as well. Now they're starting to put baskets in.
Perpick gets it knocked out of her hands. Good job to get herself into position to pass for Kylie Fredlin. Now a deep outlet pass. Contact underneath as Jasmine Rapetsky was looking to go up. She draws the foul. Three-point Saskatoon Christian Cougars lead with the ball. Quick shot off the inbound pass, won't go for Kylie Fredlin. Cassidy McLean has checked in for her first shift of the night, as has Vianne Lapierre of the Evan Hardy Souls. Jumper won't go for Evan Hardy. Second chance, high off the glass. That one won't drop for Perpick. Christian comes away. losing it out of bounds is Förster. Apparently last to touch it, so we'll go back over to Evan Hardy.
Yeah, they're kind of setting the tone here early that they all want to run, so it should be an up and down. Not a lot of half-court offense.
Cuff and LaPierre unable to connect on that pass. So once again, Saskatoon Christian comes away with it. Pretty decent look at it underneath for Rapetsky. Can't find it. Then trying to keep it alive into the hands of her teammate Kylie Fredlund. Goes out of bounds back over to Evan Hardy.
Saskatoon Christian seems to be able to get inside pretty quick, so I'm not sure if they need to change their defensive strategy a little bit for Hardy, but I guess it's pretty early in the game to start making moves like that.
Daza Batoy, good defensive player, pardon me. Kayla Wagner, good defensive play there for Saskatoon Christian, disrupting that pass. Stays with Evan Hardy. Gabby Long has checked in for the Souls, her first shift of the night, wearing number 22. That sends Perfect to the bench. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Taylor Rack jumper, that one no good. Fredlund comes away with it. Pushing up ahead, this is Rapetsky. Veldy trying to work her way through traffic off the glass. That one won't go. Good look at it for Kylie Fredlund, but just couldn't get it to drop. So back comes Cuff and the Souls. This is Cassidy McLean throwing up the off-balance shot. She draws contact and will head to the free throw line.
Well, Saskatoon Christian seems to be clogging up the paint pretty good. Almost daring Hardy to shoot from outside.
5:17 to go, first quarter, to the free throw line. Cassidy McLean. First one no good. Kayla Wagner out for Saskatoon Christian School. Roxanne Arnaud into the game, wearing number 4 for the Cougars. No good on either attempt. Förster comes away with it. She bounces ahead. Rapetsky goes off the glass and in.
Yeah, Förster's going to be the key to their success this rest of this year. I mean, obviously you can tell rebound, carries the ball. She's right in the mix of it all. So
running off balance shot, no good for Kendra Cuff. The tie up underneath. Ball will stay with Evan Hardy. Halfway home in this first quarter of play. Saskatoon Christian Center by 5. Jumper, that one no good for Cassidy McLean. For the Cougars, this is Treveldi. Quick jumper here for Rapetsky. Man, it really seems like Saskatoon Christian likes to get those quick shots. They don't really run much of an offense. It's get that ball in there and put up a shot.
It's almost like the Houston Rockets. It's 7 seconds or less. But they seem to get in good spots though too. So I guess when you're getting the ball in that quality position, you'll take advantage of it at any time of a shot clock.
Another example of it there. Kylie Fredlund off the glass and in. 7-point lead for the Saskatoon Christian Cougars, and it's going to be the Evan Hardy Souls taking an early timeout. Let's talk a little bit more about this championship league for viewers who might not be familiar, Paul, because this is a newer development in Saskatoon high school basketball, the establishment of this secondary league, the idea behind it, and how it works.
Well, I mean, these two schools are actually perfect examples of why they started this. I think it was about 4 years ago, and for Saskatoon Christian, it's a small school, so they can't compete with the bigger 5A schools, so they can't play in that league. But if they didn't have this one, then they'd be traveling every weekend, hours away to play games. So they get an opportunity to play at home, have a lot more home games, be able to practice, develop. For Hardy, they're the prototypical 5A school for this league because they're in a developmental phase. They're prototypical 5A school that's in development. They have a lot of young players, so they develop here, and then I'm sure they have hopes that in a year or maybe 2, they'll be back playing in the Premier Division. but it's not. It's actually a compliment that they're here, so that they're learning and developing. And then it's happened on the boys' side a couple times already, where teams have moved up, and it's just a good opportunity for all teams involved.
They had it wrong on the scoreboard here initially. They had the scores reversed. You may have noticed on our scorebug it was reversed as well. But now we've got it all sorted out. It's correct as you see it on our screen. It is Saskatoon Christian School with the 7-point lead over the Evan Hardy Souls. Just over the halfway point of the first quarter of play. Brief delay here at the scorer's table.
I'm not sure what the delay is, if it's
a possession arrow maybe?
Possibly. Or is it the timeout
Foul situation?
Maybe they're
we could just name everything that's on the scoreboard, because everyone's looking at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we now have the score correct. It is 12-5. Saskatoon Christian Cougars. Their only 2 losses of the season to these Evan Hardy Souls right now. They've got an early lead over Evan Hardy and just forced another turnover. Nice pass down low once again. Too strong off the glass, however, for Jasmine Rapetsky. Got herself into a good position underneath, just couldn't finish it. So back come the Souls, running take. Taylor Rack is going to draw contact.
I don't think Jasmine needed to put her hand in there. She played good defense. She just had to stick her hand in at the last second there.
So Taylor Rack to the free throw line, trying to cut into the 7-point deficit. Her Evan Hardy Souls currently face 3 straight free throw misses from the free throw line for Evan Hardy, however. You know, coaches always talk about it. When you're struggling to get those baskets, the free throws are key. Got to hit those, and Taylor does hit the back end.
Yeah.
Again, Rapetsky on the run off the glass. Again, Taylor had a good look at it, just couldn't get it to drop. Ball out of bounds, will stay with the Cougars. Wide open underneath, turnaround shot won't go for Roxanne Arno, but she draws contact.
Hardy they've lost their checks right now. They're not quite sure who's got who, so they have to straighten that out real quick.
We'll send in a couple of fresh bodies, perhaps to help do so. Katie Perpick, Mackenzie and Wani back into the game for Evan Hardy. A couple of their starters after brief rest. First free throw drops for Arno. I believe I believe it is 13-5 still, although scoreboard showing 13-6. Now it should be 14-6. 14-5, I believe. Hardy again, trouble with it. Great play by Arno to get in there and knock it away. Can't finish it, however. Coming away with it, Kendra Cuff on the miss. She'll look to go on the run, trying to hit Perpick on the run. Unable to do so, but good defense there by Evan Hardy after the turnover, forcing the walk by Taylor Furster.
Well, there's pressure both ways now. It's interesting. See, as you said right there early, it's ball control, ball control, ball control. So we'll see who can settle in here. We still got lots of time in the game.
3.5 to go first quarter, losing the handle, Cassidy McLean. She gets tied up by Jasmine Rapetsky. Ball goes back over to the Cougars.
Evan Hardy must believe they can really turn the ball over, because there's a lot of ball pressure. So if there's anybody behind that ball pressure, they'll get some easy, Saskatoon Christian will get some easy hoops that way.
Arno gets in trouble underneath. Ball knocked out of bounds by Kendra Cuff. So we'll stay with the Cougars. Deza Batoy back in for Evan Hardy. On the run, Perpick looks to take it all the way. Gets the friendly roll.
They needed that hoop. It's been a while since they've actually had a full basket, so.
Losing the handle underneath, Jasmine Rapetsky. Back over to the Souls as they look to swing the momentum back in their direction. Shot clock just didn't reset, so they'll start it up again. Evan Hardy will send in Alicia Kraft, number 8, to replace Kendra Cuff. This is Kraft controlling, gets the high screen. Rack with it on the outside. Looks to make a move towards the basket, back up into the hands of Batoy. Long jumper comes up well short. Lands in the lap of Taylor Furster. Furster might look to run the floor. She's going to try and take it all the way. DeMar DeRozan style, unfortunately jams the rim underneath. Out of bounds will stay with Evan Hardy.
Looks like Saskatoon Christian wants to talk about it here. So they have been doing a lot of damage inside. It seems like the opposite tail. Saskatoon Christian's getting into the paint, and Hardy can't get anywhere close. So it's each team has to make adjustments so that they can protect and to score. So
told you these two teams met 3 times throughout the course of this championship league season. Evan Hardy won by 4 back on December 12th and by 9 just last week, March 1st, or a week and a half or so ago. Saskatoon Christian took the game in the middle of the schedule. That was a tight one, 63-61 back on February 13th. And as we told you in the open, it was the home team winning each game. And we are here on neutral territory, although Evan Hardy with a great cheering contingent right beside us. They're making a ton of noise tonight.
Yeah, they brought out the senior boys team here, so just to get the ambiance goes up a few notches. And I know in that last game at Evan Hardy, Saskatoon Christian was up by, I think, double digits in the first half, and Evan Hardy came back. So I happened to come into the gym right afterwards and talk to the Saskatoon Christian coaches. They were disappointed, a little bit frustrated with their turnovers. I mean, the first couple of minutes they were turning the ball over, but they've taken care of it a lot better in the last part of this first quarter.
As we resume play, coming out of the Saskatoon Christian School Cougars timeout. 2.5 to go first quarter. Ball out of bounds. Will stay with Evan Hardy. They'll have 17 on the shot clock. Rack to receive the inbound pass. She picks up the dribble, turnaround shot. Too many steps along the way.
That's a good move, though. That she's trying to get closer to the hoop and get in that paint. As we were saying, it's a battle of the paint. We haven't seen too many outside shots. 1 outside shots, and the rest have been in the paint. So just like that one.
Yeah. Great ball movement once again by Saskatoon Christian School. It's Kylie Fredlin coming up short on the shot. Evan Hardy turns it right back, however, on the walk. Long inbound pass from Terveldi finds Fredlin. Good defense here. Taylor Rack comes away with it, and then looks like get a foul going against the Cougars.
Well, we didn't see pressure early with Saskatoon Christian, but it seems like when they subbed in Terveldi and Arnaut, that they really wanted to set up the pressure. So number 8, number 4 are setting a lot of pressure early in the sets.
Speaking of substitutions, Jenny Dimitrition back in for Evan Hardy. Alicia Kraft out. 1:55 to go first quarter from Mount Royal. 6-point lead for Saskatoon Christian School. This championship league title game. Evan Hardy hangs on to the possession. 18 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Again, a brief conversation at the scorer's table.
I think there's a little discussion of what the score should be, but
yeah, I was wondering about that myself. I think perhaps Evan Hardy has 1 more point than they should now. I don't know if that ended up getting corrected, but
because of that missed
free throw. Well, the free throw was initially credited to Evan Hardy, but it was Saskatoon Christian School that hit it. And, well, with my aging brain, that was so long ago, I have no idea if it's now right. But ball out of bounds, back over to Saskatoon Christian School. According to the scoreboard, they maintain a 6-point lead as they bring the ball up the floor. Controlling it is Terveldi. Now Arnaud on the outside. She'll pick up the dribble. Looks inside for Furster. Furster makes a move towards the basket. Draws contact.
They are doing a good job. The Saskatoon Christian School is doing a good job of getting the ball from one side to the other, and then it seems to give them the advantage of coming in. So if they keep that up, or Hardy has to make an adjustment so that they're not allowing the layup after.
Free throws for Förster, short on the first attempt. So remains a 6-point Cougar lead, 1:34 to go, first quarter of action. Second one also gets the front of the rim, but then takes a friendly bounce. It'll allow the Evan Hardy substitution. Kendra Cuff back into the game. Taylor Rack out for the Souls, so Evan Hardy gets a little bit bigger out there. Jeza Batoy brings it up, snaps it across for Perpick. She's being marked by Förster. Saskatoon Christian comes away with it. Förster will pick up the dribble. Dangerous bounce pass across half court, finds its way through. This is Terveldi. And she looks to get it into the hands of Förster. Förster a couple of steps, leads to the open take for Rapetsky. Rapetsky well long on that shot attempt. 1 minute remaining, first quarter.
That was a good defensive possession for Hardy. And we'll see if it translates to positives on the offensive end.
Jumper won't drop for Perpick. Arno comes away with it, now needs to get rid of it. Got to get it into the front court. They do. Little collision there. Rapetsky draws the contact from Jenny Dimitrition. So that will put Saskatoon Christian into the bonus for the final 43.2 seconds of the first quarter. Rapetsky no good on the first free throw attempt. Second one also rattles, won't drop, tied up underneath. Possession arrow favoring Evan Hardy. So they will need someone to inbound it. There we go. Hardy pushes into the front court, picking up the dribble. Kendra Cuff, fortunately for her, dragging her foot along the way. So back over to Saskatoon Christian as time gets short, first quarter. 35.4 seconds to go. Long inbounds pass somehow does find, I believe, the intended target, and Taylor Förster. She goes down to the ground drawing contact. So we'll get another foul. Good for Saskatoon Christian, as I mentioned moments ago, now into the bonus. Förster will shoot a pair. No mistake on the front end. So the Cougars now doubling up the Souls at 16-8. Nothing but net on both attempts. This is Quinn Douglas for Evan Hardy. A little scrambly play here, just trying to regain possession as Kendra Cuff called for the walk.
The lengthy the press, it's just a long press, but just seems to keep them off balance as they come up, so it's hard for them to set up.
Good idea, looking underneath for Kyrie Fredlin was Terveldi. As Evan Hardy comes away with it, but then right back is Terveldi. Great steal and the putback.
That is a grade 9 coming out there. She got picked up. She played junior all year, and then she came up to the senior ranks too, just after the junior season was over. She's a very busy young lady she has many instruments, does a lot of music, so she didn't want to commit to the senior program.
Time winding down first quarter. Last shot of the first quarter by Taylor Förster. No good, but it will be the Saskatoon Christian School Cougars taking an 11-point lead into the second quarter of play. That's got to feel great for this Cougars team. I mean, we talk about the fact that during the regular season, it was certainly Evan Hardy that had the advantage. The one win Saskatoon Christian got against the Souls was on home turf at Saskatoon Christian School. But man, oh man, this Cougars team looks good here in the early going.
That's for sure. I mean, like you had alluded to earlier, that they're moving the ball a lot better, always looking for the open person on the other side of the hoop, and that seems to be giving them layups. Even on the last couple plays, they didn't make it. There was the steal and make, but before that, there was a couple of really good possessions that they're still getting good 5-foot shots, and where Hardy on the other side is just struggling to get anywhere close to the paint. They've hit one outside shot, but they need to just maybe trust each other a little bit more, move the ball so that they can get the ball working for them instead of fighting to get those spots on their own.
Talk about what a great season it has been for this Evan Hardy Souls team, going 8-1 on the regular season. But man, oh man, they got a bit of a scare last week against Mount Royal in the semifinal. Had a close one there, downing the 1-8 Mount Royal Mustangs. 51-42 the score in that one. So certainly a great season for Evan Hardy, but of late been a little bit of a struggle perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult. Basketball season is so many ups and downs and school breaks and exam breaks, and so it's tough to keep your rhythm all the way through. But it is always better to be peaking at this time of the year and moving instead of having close calls. But sometimes it's just takes a little bit of time in a game. That's why we play 4 quarters, and then they can recover and make positive things happen.
Saskatoon Christian Cougars with the 11-point lead as we get ready to go in the second quarter of play in this Championship League title game, girls basketball. Simon Hyatt, Paul Engen, the whole Shaw TV team with you. Thank you for joining us for our coverage of high school basketball tonight. Saskatoon Christian with the lead and the ball to begin the second quarter. More pressure from Evan Hardy, and this time it works. Unable to get it inbounds at Saskatoon Christian School.
That's a way to start the second half, setting a tone. And maybe that'll just spur them to get going here.
A second did tick off on the clock there, and it should not have, so they're going to make sure that it's correct. I believe is the brief stoppage. Now it shows 10 minutes as it should. So Evan Hardy, their first possession, trying to cut into that 11-point lead. That's not going to help their cause there. Terveldi comes away with the steal. She looks to take it all the way. That one won't go. Rebounded initially into the hands of Taylor Rack. She gets tied up immediately. But on the possession arrow, Evan Hardy will take over the possession. McLean trying to get it into the front court. She's being bothered all the way along by Roxanne Arnault. Picking up the dribble, trying to bounce it ahead is Nwani. Now once again down to the ground. We'll get another tie-up. So back over to Saskatoon Christian.
Well, they're coming out defensively for sure here. They're both setting a tone. There's not much room to move out there, so we have to see if they can help each other with that. There's another steal.
Tough place to come up with a steal there. I was sort of waiting for perhaps a backcourt violation back and over. Instead, it's going to be a walk against the Evan Hardy Souls. So back over to Saskatoon Christian School. With that 11-point lead, first are able to track down the loose ball. Gets it into the hands of Terveldi. Nice ball movement looking down low. That one intended for Kylie Friedland. First, Friedland have a foul against Evan Hardy. Looks like they're getting Mackenzie and Nwani for it. Substitution for the Cougars.
There's another grade 9 here coming in.
Yeah, this is
Mackenzie
Friedland. Tracking down that loose ball by Taylor Furster. This is Mackenzie Friedland. She picks it up, gets it into the hands of Kylie Friedland. And that shot partially disrupted. Coming down with it underneath was Jasmine Rapetsky. Just kind of got stuck underneath and had to put up the scoop shot. Ball out of bounds. Will stay with the Cougars. 4 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Bounce pass down low. Furster trying to find the opening. Ball is held. So back over to Evan Hardy. 47 seconds into the second quarter of play. This championship final. Cuff going to put up the turnaround shot. That one no good there for the rebound for Terveldi. I don't know if I've seen this many tie-ups in a game in my life that we've seen in the first 11 minutes of this one.
I was just thinking we're not even a minute in, and we probably had about 10 possessions just from turnovers.
Yeah.
And so, but it also says how they picked up the intensity for sure. So that's maybe a sign of how they're getting into the game a little bit more.
This is Fredlund. Now into the hands of Terveldi, looking in for Furster. Out of bounds, will stay with the Cougars. 10 seconds to work with on the shot clock. 8-9, Mackenzie Fredlund, 2 inbound. Gets it into the hands of Kylie. Stepped out of bounds, back over to Evan Hardy.
And I think we've only had 2 or 3 shots in this time here, just turnover. So.
This shot is good. Lapierre gets it to go off the glass. First points of the second quarter for Evan Hardy. Nice touch. Fredlund looking for the answer on the other end. Can't get it to go, but will head to the free throw line. Looks like they're getting Jasmine Rapetsky for the foul, or pardon me, Taylor Rack for the foul. So Fredlund to the free throw line. Once again, Cougars doubling up the Souls with that free throw made. Fredlund good on both attempts. Kendra Cuff looking to work her way through traffic all the way, can't get it to go. Furster comes away with it. She looks down floor, looking for her teammate Jasmine Rapetsky, just a little bit too much mustard on that pass.
Well, the positive for Saskatoon Christian, they keep looking up for the open person, where I find that Hardy is just one person is dribbling and then not quite making the passes, or maybe people aren't quite getting themselves open. So they'll have to continue to work together to kind of get some offensive sets that'll help each other out.
Defense here by the Cougars. That's Fredlund knocking it away, then able to scoop it up into her teammate's hand on the run. That one won't go for Kylie Fredlund. Second chance for Kylie won't go as well. She will shoot a couple of free throws.
I know for Kylie, this is probably only her second year of basketball, so she's doing phenomenally well for just her athleticism. She shows up in everything that she does.
Moments ago, Alicia Kraft replaced Kendra Cuff for the Souls. Also out for Evan Hardy is Nwani. Katie Perpick back into the game for the Souls as they look to claw their way back into this one. Fredlund makes the lead, 12 for the Cougars. Another Souls turnover. Saskatoon Christian goes on the run. Now slowing things down a little bit is Terveldi. Talked about it in the first quarter. A team that hasn't had too many opportunities to run their offense because they force the action so much. Ball back over to Evan Hardy. 7.5 remaining, first half of action in this championship final. McLean gets it ahead into the hands of LaPierre. LaPierre draws contact as she makes her way towards the basket.
Well, I think Hardy's come out better defensively. Now they just have to translate that teamwork into the offensive side. On that last possession, there was a couple passes, but they've had a couple possessions where it's just either one person is dribbling or it's one pass and a shot. So they just have to kind of work together a little bit more. Maybe set some screens to get each other open. But this is always a positive when you're behind, when the time is stopped and you're shooting free throws.
Right. Pierre off the glass and in. Not necessarily the way they teach you free throw technique, but certainly Evan Hardy will take the point. Pierre no good on the more orthodox second attempt. 11-point Cougar lead. Picking up the dribble, Terveldi. Be called for the walk. She shows a little bit of frustration with herself there.
It'd be a challenge for the grade 9 to kind of keep her composure. Lots of game left.
Off the glass and in. Great touch. Vienne Lapierre.
Oh, she's been a spark plug for them. I think she scored the last 5 points or so for the team.
And a big steal for Taylor Rack. Needs to get it into the hands of a teammate. Does find Cassidy McLean. McLean into the corner.
A 3-second call, but there was better movement there from the team. Just there's somebody camping out in the key.
So back over to the Cougars. They're back within 9 points. Love to take some momentum into the locker room. Still 6:37 to go first half of action. Lipetsky bounces off. Running take, nice touch. Kylie Fredlin gets it to go.
She's done a really nice job of making sure she's keeping her balance as she's going through there. It almost seems like a little bit of a pause, but she has such good balance so she can get that shot off.
Cassidy McLean's pass off the mark, out of bounds back over to Saskatoon Christian School. Mackenzie Anwani back into the game. LaPierre out for Evan Hardy. 6:19 remaining, second quarter. Hardy continuing to press as they have much of the game. Cougars have done a pretty good job by and large of working their way through that pressure. See it here once again. Fredlin the running take.
Oh, it took a long route to get there, but she eventually got to her shot. That's the one thing that you can see that she's doing, is getting to her spot that she wants to shoot.
Brooklyn Baba is in for Evan Hardy. She put up that shot. Coming up short. We'll get a travel violation against the Souls. Just bounce pass ahead there. Called for the walk is Firster.
And she was walking a pretty tight,
yeah, it was dangerous there midcourt.
I thought she was going to step over, or if she didn't already.
Kendra Cuff back in, Cassidy McLean out for Evan Hardy. 5:43 remaining, second quarter from Mount Royal. Good job there to keep the ball alive by Brooklyn Baba. This is Rack. Petsky on her.
I think that's offensive.
Offensive foul against the Souls. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
It was just on the screen there. The screen came in pretty heavy, or made a lot of contact right off. The screener made contact, not the defensive player.
So back over to the Cougars, but stolen right back. Good read there by Rack, and then giving it back. Not meaning to speak in rhyme. Great pass up ahead, now underneath. Great finish. Terveldi gets it to go as she hits the ground hard. Pops back up, gets back into the play, and comes away with a steal. Terveldi might look to run the floor. It looked like some contact there. Terveldi gets it to go.
That's grade 9. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, but I know I coached her older brothers, and they've played a lot of basketball, so it's nothing new to them. But just to have the confidence to do it is impressive.
Shot won't drop underneath for Fredlin, trying to save it out of bounds. Lipetsky unable to do so. Back to Evan Hardy, who all of a sudden find themselves down 17.
Yeah, the key is not for them to panic right now. They just have to keep working to get better on the offensive end. They did enough work defensively. The last couple of minutes, it's kind of run away on them again, but they have to keep that defensive intensity, but try to get to the basket a little bit more. They're still shooting from outside the key.
One grade 9 player replaces another for Saskatoon Christian. This is Mackenzie Fredlin forcing another Evan Hardy turnover and coming away with it. Kylie Fredlin, she puts up the jumper and draws contact. Foul will go against Evan Hardy's Mackenzie and Wani. Ava Linklater will check into the game. Her first shift for the Souls. That'll send Mackenzie and Wani to the bench. Short on that free throw attempt for Kylie Fredland. She has a bit of a smile on her face after watching that one fall.
Just let it off. Water off the back, it's all good.
Second one, much better attempt, although it too will not drop. So Evan Hardy on the run in the other direction. Quick take, unable to get the friendly roll though with Taylor Rack. Second chance for Evan Hardy, a little jumper here. Nice touch, Kendra Cuff gets it to go. Once again looking down low. That's one won't drop for Fredland. Out of bounds will stay with Saskatoon Christian School. 15 seconds to work with on the shot clock. 4:03 remaining second quarter.
Saskatoon Christian's doing a really nice job of looking for the open player on the other side of the hoop. That seems to be the advantage that they really are looking for.
Good defense by Ava Linklater. Back come the Souls. Now Linklater comes down with the big rebound. Ball knocked out of bounds. Will stay with Evan Hardy.
I think they called a foul.
Oh, it was a foul.
A reaching foul, I think maybe on Odd. I'm not quite sure who that was on, but the boys are getting pretty excited that they're jumping out in front there.
We're getting screened a little bit here. 3:46 to go, second quarter. It is Evan Hardy ball, and you are quite correct. It was a foul call. Trying to save it before going out of bounds, unable to do so is Kendra Cuff. So back over to the Cougars with that 15-point lead. Fredland will pick up the dribble, gets it into the hands of Terveldi. Nice ball movement there to finish it off. Kylie Fredland. And that's just another careless turnover for Evan Hardy. Is standing on the line as she inbounded was Kendra Cuff.
Looks like Hardy's called a timeout just to regroup a little bit.
Yeah, Evan Hardy finds themselves down 17 points here, 3.5 to go. Second quarter of play, looking to hang in this championship final.
Yeah, they, like I was saying, they have such good ball pressure, but they're not covering the people behind them. Evan Hardy is not covering the people behind them. They're just, they look at the ball so much that they, they're not helping each other out. And if you get beat, you go right to the hoop because that's where the ball's going, because that's where Saskatoon Christian has been, they've been doing layups inside that charged circle for the most part tonight. I can't remember them hitting one outside of the key.
Yeah, you're right.
So it might be, I'm not sure the pressure maybe isn't needed as much because they're not getting the turnovers for sure. So we'll see if they make that adjustment at all in the rest of this half or maybe the second half.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Paul. It might be a better idea to back off a little bit and set up more defensively because Saskatoon Christian's done a great job of attacking. Told you Evan Hardy with a great regular season, ending up 8-1 first place in the championship division. Saskatoon Christian in second at 7-2. Bedford Road came in third in this 4-team conference at 2-7. Mount Royal rounding out the conference at 1-8. But as we told you, Mount Royal gave Evan Hardy a real scare last weekend. This looks like she stamped on the line there again.
I thought there was a turnover there last time. Yeah, it should have been Saskatoon Christian ball coming out of timeout there because Hardy stepped in on the inbound. That's what got the whistle the first part.
Right. Well, perhaps justice is served because now it is Saskatoon Christian ball. No points scored. Quick inbounds pass in there to finish it. Taylor Furster. Expands the advantage to 19. A little better than 3 minutes to go here, second quarter of play. Ball will stay with Evan Hardy.
There's still lots of time.
Yeah.
It's there's no just adjustments need to be made, not any panic or anything.
Just a foot drag there. Nice take though. Kendra Cuff hits the little jumper. And then a great read, nice play. Ava Linklater leads to another quick take. Unable to get it to drop, Taylor Rack, she crashes down to the ground, gets tied up down there.
Yeah, they're both battling after the rebound. I don't think there was any foul, but they definitely were, both hands are on there for a jump ball.
Will remain Evan Hardy ball, 13 seconds to work with on the shot clock, 2:48 to go second quarter. Inbounded for McLean. She gets it into the hands of Cuff. Now Linklater back to Cuff. That shot no good. This ball controlled by Furster. Forward for Treveldi. Treveldi thought about picking it up, lost the handle, now into the hands of Furster. He's going to be called for the walk.
That was a lot of contact for for a travel, but she didn't have full control of the ball. So usually if you can show control and then somebody bumps you, then it's
you'll get
call
that
usually
call.
Goes in your favor.
Shot no good for Perpick. And then Linklater ends up out of bounds. So back over to the Cougars. A good sized lead. 2:17 to go, second quarter. Again, a good job by the Cougars to get it into the front court. Treveldi controls out on her as Linklater. Able to get that pass through to Furster. Furster, a couple of fakes, takes a step in. Can't get the shot to go, gets the rebound on her own miss, draws contact, and down hard to the ground goes Kendra Cuff as she tripped over Furster. And then nice move there as Kendra Cuff helps Furster back up to her feet. They pat each other on the back.
Well, they're getting, Hardy's getting the Saskatoon Christian to shoot from a little bit further out, which creating some rebound opportunities. You just have to clean that up. There was 3 or 4 shots there but Saskatoon Christian kept getting the rebound, so they're still in the same boat if you can't secure that rebound after the shot. So she made her first there.
Giving Saskatoon Christian the 18-point lead, 1:55 to go. Now make it 19. First are good on both free throw attempts. Now it's Saskatoon Christian showing the pressure, and once again stepping in a little too far on the inbounds, Kendra Cuff.
Yeah, she's done that a couple times. She just sort of slides her foot forward.
No good on that long shot, but there for the putback underneath, Hannah Ashby. On the run, out of bounds, a little too much on that pass from Linklater to Perpick. Talked about those couple of turnovers there by Evan Hardy. Out of the game goes Kendra Cuff. Committed them back in. Deza Batoy. Ball stays with the Cougars, although only momentarily. Stolen on the inbounds. Nice snap pass, nice take off the glass. Taylor Rack.
Well, I mean, that's a good example of there was 2-3 passes before the basket, even though it was really fast. It's just that idea of moving the ball.
Getting into traffic, Mackenzie Fredlin. Cougars able to keep the possession alive. Another chance for Fredlin on the run. Won't go, but she will shoot a pair. You mentioned the grade 9 presence for the Saskatoon Christian team. A couple of players getting to play, opportunities being created by some of those injuries we highlighted earlier.
And not just a couple of minutes. Sarah's been out there, number 8, Sarah Trevaldi's been out there for a majority of this first half.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you just have to see if they can contain that, have that many minutes and play this. It's a more physical game than the junior would be, so see if they can contain it for the second half as well.
Lots of opportunities there for the Cougars to add to their lead. Unable to do so. Hardy in the other direction. Rack for 3. Long on that attempt. Treveldi comes away with it. Gets it a help forward into the hands of Furster. Furster on the run, trying to force it for Fredlin. Good job to keep it alive by Evan Hardy. Scrambly possession down low for Rack. Out of bounds back over to the Cougars. Substitution for Saskatoon Christian. Mackenzie masked back in. Out goes Kayla Wegner. LaPierre back in for Evan Hardy. They're down 20. Firster into the hands of Terveldi. Terveldi lost it momentarily as it went off her knee, able to keep it alive. Firster on her way through, puts up the running shot. That one no good. Hannah Ashby had it momentarily, gets it back. Time getting short on the shot clock, down to 2 seconds. Going to be a desperation heave. I don't know if it caught rim. Apparently it did not, as it will go as a shot clock violation. So shot clock off, final 13.3 seconds of the first half. Perhaps a chance for Evan Hardy to get a little bit of momentum, but no matter what they do here, they will be looking at a sizable deficit heading into the locker room, and unfortunately for them, they do turn it over. A little bit of a miscommunication. I think that pass intended for LaPierre. So now it's Saskatoon Christian with 4.3 seconds to add to their advantage headed to the locker room.
Looks like they're not going to take any chances and try to get a good opportunity in this last couple seconds. And they're also, this is a good opportunity for them to practice. Their season isn't done yet.
Right.
You know, this is the final for the City League, but they have regionals coming up this weekend. So any time you can practice a 4-second shot in a real live game situation is a benefit. But I know that Hardy came back from a big deficit the last game, so I'm sure they're not taking any chances that way either.
Absolutely. Talk about the rise of this Saskatoon Christian School program. Last year winning that first ever city championship over Marion Graham, as we talked about earlier, and then went on to win the bronze medal at Hoopla, 3A level. Really impressive job that Saskatoon Christian School has done in growing this program in a relatively short time. Yeah,
I was at the school when Brad Enns walked in, and he had a daughter going to school there at the time. But she hasn't been there for 2 years, and he's still there. So that tells you a little bit about who he is.
Love that commitment.
Yeah, but just wanted to give energy to the program, which he did. He just made the girls feel really important about what they're doing, you know, investing their time.
Desperation heave as time expires in the first half. Saskatoon Christian tried to dial up a play, headed in to the final 4.3 seconds of the first half, unable to get more points, but nevertheless, they will take a 20-point lead into the second half of play in this championship final over the Evan Hardy Souls. We are going to take a break. We'll be back with complete second half coverage on Shaw TV. Back at the half, a 20-point lead for Saskatoon Christian Cougars. 39-19 is our score over the Evan Hardy Souls. Getting ready for the second half of play. Simon Hyatt Pauling with you tonight. Doubleheader of basketball. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of action in this girls' final. That's a pretty good indication of a lot of what we saw. Great ball movement by Saskatoon Christian School in the early going, Paul. They really were able to do a good job against that pressure Evan Hardy showed, and able to score a lot of points on the run.
Absolutely. Like I say, they were a lot of ball pressure by Hardy, but they're behind the ball. There's a lot of space there, and Saskatoon Christian was able to get right underneath the hoop most of the time when they're shooting. I don't think they took a shot outside of the key. So I think the key is going to be to keep them out of the key, and on the other side, they have to start moving the ball kind of like that so that they can get some good, easy offensive opportunities.
And certainly something else we saw in the first half, that strong play from those first-year players that have joined this team in recent weeks due to those injuries. Man, oh man, been very impressed with those freshman players from Saskatoon Christian.
They surprisingly, they bring great energy, and then they also obviously can finish and make some good passing opportunities.
So just about ready to get things going from Mount Royal once again. Saskatoon Christian looking to make it 2 championships in a row in the championship league in Saskatoon. Evan Hardy looking to mount what would be a sizable comeback here in the second half as they find themselves down 20 as we get ready to get things going here. Third quarter of play.
Well, at the pace that both of these teams have been going at, like the number of possessions needed to make a comeback, it's within their grasp.
It's attainable. Yeah, you're right.
So Saskatoon Christian could maybe think about holding the ball a little bit longer, but you don't want to mess with what you're being successful with either.
It is Saskatoon Christian beginning the third quarter with the ball. This is Dimitrition. Pardon me, this Kylie Fredlin ball out of bounds. Will stay with the Cougars.
We'll see if Hardy's made some adjustments on the backside of their defense. See if they can control the second pass, third passes.
Great read here by Evan Hardy's Dimitrition. She's going to look to go the other direction. Gets the lay-in. A little bit of momentum there perhaps for Evan Hardy to start that third quarter. Now it's Saskatoon Christian, a little bit of trouble getting it into the front court.
Yeah.
Kick ball against Evan Hardy, so we'll stay with Christian.
I mean, that's good. They're not trying to steal the pass or on the dribbler. They're trying to steal the pass, and that's always advantageous to get some easy hoops.
A little bit of pressure from Hardy. Good job getting her body in there by Mackenzie and Wani. Bounce pass ahead from Dimitrition to Rack. Doesn't lead to points. Cougars come away with it. Mackenzie Masick, she'll stop and put up the running shot. That one no good. Second chance though. Kylie Fredlin in the right spot, makes no mistake on the putback. Minute into the third quarter of play. Nice running take. Ava Linklater gets it to go.
That's probably the first straight layup that they've had. So that's a good early attack.
More good Evan Hardy defense here out of the gate in the third quarter of play. Foul against Saskatoon Christian. Hardy does look a little rejuvenated coming out of the locker room, playing some good defense here.
Well, and now they're bringing the youngster in for some stability. That's usually the job of some older players.
Right,
but that's
exactly.
But in reality, like I was saying before, she's probably played as much or more basketball than most of these girls just because she started so young.
Good look at it there for Kendra Koff. Can't get it to go. So still an 18-point deficit for Evan Hardy, although looking much better here. Third quarter, you could hear the crowd calling for a travel there. I thought I saw one as well. We get a tie up underneath on the missed shot. Ball will stay with the Souls. Or pardon me, go over to the Souls.
Well, let's see if they've talked about a little bit of ball movement here or not. And maybe attack from a different spots.
And Wani, turnaround shot, that one no good. Therefore, the rebound, unfortunately losing her footing, was Perpick. Cougars come away with it. Running scoop shot in a world of traffic. Great take. Taylor Furster gets it to go.
I don't think you could ask for anything more on the defensive side of that one.
Did all they could.
Play by Furster to get that in.
Rack's running shot, no good. Furster comes away with a loose ball. Got to get it ahead and just find her teammate, Treveldi. Treveldi, one of those grade 9 players we talked about. Mackenzie Fredlin, the other. Kylie Fredlin's shot won't go. And we'll get a foul underneath. Lead to free throws for Sarah Treveldi. Out of the game goes Jenny Dimitrition. Alicia Kraft out to the floor for the Evan Hardy Souls. Treveldi's first free throw rattles, won't drop. So remains a 20-point Cougar lead. Second one good. Making a 21-point advantage. Rack on the outside, now makes a move in. Loses the handle. What do you know, we got another look towards that possession arrow, and this time in favors Saskatoon Christian.
Just ball movement has to be, just have to increase the ball movement for Hardy. They're just holding on and just one person's making a play. Good hustle on the defensive. Another jump ball, so Hardy ball. What I'd like to see them do is make a couple of passes, just easy ones on the outside, just to get the defense to move. Once they get the movement, and it looks like they need to find shots on the inside. I haven't seen.
Travel will be called against Förster following the miss by Kraft. If you're Evan Hardy, you know, you can't get it back all at once, just gotta chip away, chip away. That's what they're doing here, at least an early going third quarter. Rack controls, now into the hands of Kraft. Back to Taylor Rack, she'll put up the running shot, gets the friendly roll, great touch, Taylor Rack.
Now let's see if they got to put a stop together.
Saskatoon Christian came close to turning it over on the inbounds there. Falling inbounds was Terveldi.
They're holding him out for a little bit further out, which is a positive. There we go, clean that up.
Mackenzie Masick's long take won't go, losing the handle in the other direction. Perpick. Souls keep it alive. Open look, 4-3, Rack. Short on the attempt. Out of bounds, over to the Cougars.
You can see how just one or two passes there, even though it wasn't really planned where she lost control of the ball, but they got a wide open shot. And I think it looks like she's their shooter. She's got to maybe just put a little bit more into those and then, you know, finish off those solid plays.
Cassie McLean, Vianne LaPierre in for the Evan Hardy Souls. Good ball movement by Cougars. Fredlund there to put it away. For Saskatoon Christian, Roxanne Arnault has also checked back into the game. She goes down to the ground. Putting up the shot is Kendra Cuff. That one no good. Förster on the run. Loses the handle. A collision between Förster and Kendra Cuff.
I think they're calling it travel before the contact, so it looks really ugly, but the violation happened before the contact.
Right. So Hardy trying to chip away, down 21. 5:37 to go third quarter. Rack shot won't go. Now 5.5 remaining contact here between Förster and Rack. Foul will go against Evan Hardy. You can see head coach Stacy Boltup looking for a little bit of an explanation on that one, perhaps wanting the offensive foul against Saskatoon Christian. Good read on that pass, out of bounds though.
I think they're calling a foul on that play. Just the Saskatoon Christian was behind the play and got her arm in between. Now here's the real question is, Saskatoon Christian has been playing not a lot of players, especially Förster hasn't been out, Petsky's been out a little bit. I just wonder if the second half will catch up to them, or fouls, or both.
Sure. Rack can't hit the three-pointer, but does hit the jumper. Two more for Taylor Rack, pulls Evan Hardy within 19. We approach 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Förster gets her three-point shot blocked, although we are going to get a foul, it looks like, against Taylor Rack, which would mean 3 free throws for Saskatoon Christian's Förster.
That's tough from this angle, but it looked pretty clean, but the ref was right underneath the play, so.
That expression that announcers often use about, well, the referees are much closer than we are. It's never been more true than it is in our current broadcast position, because we are literally about 700 feet away from that basket. I'll give the refs the benefit of the doubt on that call.
For sure.
Förster puts her hands to her head in frustration with another free throw miss. Did a pretty good job in shooting from the free throw line in the first half. It's her third and final attempt on this go. It won't go either. So the other old expression is the ball don't lie. Perhaps if that wasn't a foul, maybe justice is served. Förster unable to hit. Another tie-up down low, getting in there for Evan Hardy. LaPierre. That's the ball. Terveldi getting in there, back over to the Cougars. Arnaud will pick up the ball around half court. Well, the Souls didn't show a lot of pressure in the first half, working well for them here in the second half.
Yeah, no, it's seems to be working, but they've broken it a couple times, so they haven't been able to break down the score a little bit. But this seems to be the success right there. Try to get to the top of the key, get their shots in from there, but they do have to contain Förster so that she's not getting any easy buckets.
Nice running take by Förster. Back to a 21-point Cougar advantage. .4:23 to go, third quarter. Rack controls. Now into the hands of McLean. LaPierre turnaround shot, that one off the mark. Hannah Ashby comes away with it. Gets it into the hands of Roxanne Arnaud. Out of bounds, back over to Evan Hardy.
No, just the way the game is going, it probably Hardy needs to get it close to 10 by the end of the quarter.
Right.
But there are a lot of shots there that they could go in because they're good opportunities.
Mass substitutions for Evan Hardy. Deza Booty, Ava Linklater, Mackenzie Nwani into the game for the Souls. Mackenzie Fredlin back in for the Cougars. Looked like a double dribble, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see her kind of laughing about it. Thought I might have been able to get away with that one, but sometimes if you take long enough between the dribbles, the officials won't notice. Fredlin gets it knocked away. That's Linklater getting her hand on it. Out of bounds will stay with the Cougars. 18 to work with on the shot clock. 3:40 to go, third quarter. Good play here by Evan Hardy's Cassidy McLean to get in.
Still Hardy ball, so we're getting to the point where they have to just, every other possession they should hopefully be putting the ball in the hoop, and then they'll be making ground.
Gotta take care of the ball as well. Good job there by Dimitrish to recover. Too much on that shot for Nwani. Another chance for Evan Hardy. This one's going to be well short for Cassidy McLean from the top. .324 to go, third quarter. Ball knocked out. Dimitrish got the hand on it, so we'll stay with the Cougars. Long inbound pass ends up in the hands of Taylor Förster. I'm not sure it was intended for her, but it works out for the Cougars. She gets the high screen. Förster picks up the dribble in there to rip it away. Ava Linklater will get a foul called.
I think a foul against Förster. She turned it over and then just kept pushing through.
Right.
And it's just sort of natural reaction. It's hard for any player to sort of stop the play from happening.
Too much on that pass intended for McLean. Hardy gets it right back, however. Dimitrish. Now Linklater loses the handle and looks like she just committed a foul.
You can see a lot of athleticism on both teams. It looks a little scrappy sometimes just because they're playing so hard, but you can see the athleticism is what causes the problems for the offensive teams.
Cougars do just get it inbounds. Under 3 to go, third quarter. More good defense by Evan Hardy. Once again, McLean getting her hand in there to knock it away. Will stay with the Cougars. Fredlin knocked out once again. This time it was Dimitrish getting her hand on it. LaPierre up high, tiptoeing around that midcourt area. His firster now makes a move towards the basket. Contact. She runs into Dimitrich, and she's going to be called for the offensive foul.
Well, she was just standing there, so there was contact. It's almost one of those ones where there was contact, but it was initiated by the offense, but not really changing anything. So, but good defensive position because she didn't move at all.
McLean on the outside makes a move towards the basket. In there to rip it away, though. Rapetsky comes away. Terveldi has to heave it ahead, finds Hannah Ashby, and will get a travel call. Once again, Hardy going with platoon subs. Looks like they're going to turn over their entire lineup, but before that, we're going to get a timeout. Reminder, Shaw TV will have complete coverage of the Premier League finals. Teams in those games yet to be determined as we record these games tonight. And likely we'll know who's playing in them by the time the game's air, but we do know that in girls basketball, it will be the winners of the semifinal games that will feature 8-6 Walter Murray at Aiden Bowman. Aiden Bowman 11-3 on the regular season. Also at 11-3 in the Premier League was St. Joseph. They'll be hosting Centennial. Centennial 10-4 regular season. That'll be a great battle. So the winners of those two games will advance to play at Bedford Road on the weekend. Championship game in the Premier League. We'll have complete coverage right here on Shaw TV. That's the side of the picture on the girls.
Well, actually, also the teams that don't win in those games, they play a third place game, because the third place game they qualify for Hoopla as well. So Saskatoon gets to send 3 teams to Hoopla.
Right.
So all those teams have 2 more games left. But they play for that third place game, so that they get that final qualifier.
So certainly a lot to play for all of those teams in action. As I say, with my old man memory, I don't remember exactly when we're airing these games, but the Wednesday of this week is when those semifinals will be played, and then the games on Saturday at Bedford Road Collegiate. Turnover for Evan Hardy coming out of the timeout.
I was sitting in the meetings where they decided to go to Bedford to play those games. Right. They're just like tonight, they're looking for place venues that will create a little bit more of atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Obviously, with the tradition of Bedford Road and the Brit and all those types of things, it's a great atmosphere no matter who plays there.
It really is.
So Hardy's coming out, playing hard again, but just need to be able to finish some of these plays off.
Great play by Taylor Rack to keep the ball from going out of bounds. Hardy keeps it alive, and underneath there to put it away, LaPierre.
Yep. Just continue to play like that, keep getting inside.
Running take, that one won't go for Terveldi. So Hardy now on the run in the other direction. One dribble, shot won't drop for Perpick.
Very nice play, though. That's the type of play that they need. Moving the ball, make that ball move for them instead of fighting it.
Nice little jumper here, Rapetsky on the other side. So first basket for Cougars in a little bit. Jumper here, that one won't go for Kendra Cuff. Time getting short on the Evan Hardy Souls, down 21, and a little bit more than 11 minutes to go in this one. Cougars led virtually the entire way, and a couple more points here for Saskatoon Christian. Mackenzie Fredlin gets it to go off the glass.
Very nice play, just a little pump fake and then up and under, and then she's right to 5 feet closer to the hoop.
Rack's shot won't go. Ball will stay with Evan Hardy. Another Soul substitution. Deza Batoy replaces Alicia Kraft for the Souls. Nice quick inbounds pass. Good look at it for Perpick. She can't get it to go. Firster controls. Rack on her. Now in the hands of Rapetsky. She attempts to bounce it in for Hannah Ashby. Ball will stay with the Cougars. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 38.7 to go, third quarter. Fredlin looking for Rapetsky. Ball out of bounds. A couple of Cougar players hit the ground and back over to the Souls. Good read here. Rapetsky gets in and knocks it away. Now she'll look to run the floor. Tries to take it all the way. Can't get the roll. So back over to Evan Hardy, or at least momentarily unable to control it, is Taylor Rack.
Just tough. It goes off the heel of your teammates running ahead of you. That's a tough play. They're definitely not. They're working hard to get things happen, but it's just not coming together for them tonight.
Shot and game clock virtually identical. Time gets short in the third quarter. Running take, drawing the foul, Mackenzie Fredland.
Once
What a
again,
shot.
the grade 9s are showing their stuff here. It's you know, they're just so solid out there. They just look part of the team, but you have to remember that they are grade 9s, and
Yeah,
they haven't played a full season. They've just been playing this last month or so.
they don't look like grade 9s. It's been really impressive tonight. Both Fredlin and Terveldi. Fredlin unable to complete the three-point play. Rack thought about the shot, now takes a couple of steps in, comes up short on that attempt. Gets the rebound on her own miss, dribbles through. Now she'll put up another running shot. Get a foul called against Furster. So that'll send Taylor Rack to the free throw line. Rack having a great game for the Souls. Well off the mark on that first free throw attempt. 4.2 seconds to go, third quarter. Second one does go. Pulls Evan Hardy within 24. I don't know if the Cougars will be able to get off a last second shot. They will not, but they will take a 24-point lead into the fourth quarter of play in this championship game of the Championship League. Looking pretty good to make it 2 years in a row for Saskatoon Christian School.
Definitely, they've been the better team out here tonight, because they're able to move the ball, work together. Unfortunately, Hardy has had a hard time moving the ball to get easier opportunities. So it's just I think Hardy's been working hard. They've been really focusing on the defensive side a lot better this half, but still they have to get some better shot opportunities, and maybe that's just something that they need to work on in the future, just to keep working on their individual skills to get better offensively.
You mentioned that great atmosphere at Bedford Road Collegiate, where we will see the city final games in the Premier League coming up this weekend, and you're right. I'm lucky I get to call games there every year for the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. Fantastic atmosphere there, and also a pretty good boys team there at Bedford Road in Championship League play. We'll be seeing them coming up in game 2 of our doubleheader. Bedford Road coming into that championship game at 10-0 on the season. They'll be taking on Saskatoon Christian. That game will be immediately after this one in boys basketball. Should be a good one as well.
You betcha. They get so many great opportunities there at Bedford. Those players, they do play in this championship division, but then they do, because they're the home team, they play in Brit every year.
Right.
Which is, you can always see them coming in. You see them before Christmas. They practice through the Christmas holidays to get ready for Brit. And they sometimes they have success, they struggle sometimes at Brit, but by the time they come out of it, they're so much better of a team. And you almost want to play them before Brit, because they're going to be better afterwards. So it's another quick start for the quarter here.
Yeah, scrambly play there. Looked like Saskatoon Christian would get the first points. Instead, coming away with a beautiful steal, Jenny Dimitrition, and then another chance. McLean puts up the shot. It won't go. Saskatoon Christian will just let it go out of bounds, but Saskatoon Christian with a sizable lead. Evan Hardy doing what they can to try and get back into this one early going fourth quarter. Nice play out of the gate. Fredlin tries to bounce it back to her teammate. Once again, Evan Hardy on the run, looking to take it all the way through. Unable to get it to drop is Dimitrition. Bouncing it back up high. Looks like Dimitrition must have stepped out of bounds or spent too long in the key.
Yep, that's 2 steals for 2 possessions. So looks like they're bringing back the grade 9 to kind of settle the ship here.
A foul called here against Evan Hardy. Looks like this is going to go against Inwani. A lot of legendary sports last names on this Evan Hardy. We got Mackenzie Inwani. I believe I saw Cyprian Inwani here in the stands.
Yep.
I don't know if Jenny Dimitrition is related to Dwayne Dimitrition.
Yep,
interesting. Man, oh man.
That's right.
Got the whole roster of the Saskatoon Sports Hall of Fame potentially in the stands here.
That's what I mean. They're very athletic. And you can see it, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that they're really athletic, work hard. They just need to put a little more skill towards it, and then it'll pay off on the offensive end there.
Shot clock didn't reset on that possession, so they'll just stop play.
Whenever I look at these courts, I always look at there's out of the 10 girls that are on the floor right now, I know that there's 7 of them that are multi-sport athletes.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's where you see that athleticism. There's ringette players, there's soccer players, there's baseball players. I know the 2 Fredlin girls are both baseball players. Not softball, but baseball. And there's a lot of softball players out there. So the athleticism is there for sure.
And that's impressive. I mean, you know, we hear a lot about this being a day and age of increased specialization, you know, youngsters only playing one sport and really focusing it all year long. Time getting short on the shot clock. The very last second putting up the shot, Amy Perpick can't get it to go, but she will shoot free throws.
Yeah, so it is, I mean, yeah, it's nice to see them have an opportunity to play multiple sports and then excel at them as well.
Taylor Förster back into the game. Kylie Fredland out for the Cougars. First free throw attempt for Perpick, long. Her Souls continue to trail by a bunch and will need to go on a real run here if they hope to claim a championship league title. Unable to get it to go, but we'll have more free throws. Great offensive rebound by Ava Linklater. She finds Cassidy McLean. McLean puts up the shot and will head to the free throw line.
I'm pretty sure most of these girls on the Hardy team are all grade 10 right now that are out there. And Saskatoon Christian is much older. There's 3 grade 11s and two grade 9s. So a lot of young players out here.
Youth on display for sure. Again, free throw woes not helping Evan Hardy's cause, but great defense is. Nice play, Cassidy McLean with the steal in the bucket. 8.5 to go. Now a 20-point game. Quick take on the other end for the Cougars. That one won't go for Mackenzie Fredlin. Running take for McLean, no good. Trio of Cougars there to grab the loose ball. It's Förster who comes away with it. Now she gets it into the hands of Kayla Wegner. She looks down floor. That pass disrupted once again. Evan Hardy comes away with it. Souls looking to go on the run. High off the glass, won't drop for Perpick. Saskatoon Christian might be best served to slow things down a little bit. Seems like they're kind of trying to force those passes.
Is in their favor, so.
Yeah. Förster, nice pass. Little jumper rattles around. That'll drop for Rapetsky.
Oh,
Check it. I think that was Wegner who scored that one.
Ashby, yeah. I think it was Ashby, yeah. No, just that one last little pass, and it made that basket that much easier. There.
Nice pass underneath.
Very similar to that. One last little pass to get it closer to the basket, and then it becomes that much simpler of a game. So
Linklater there with the basket. Linklater with the steal. Now she'll look to go on the run. Ends up a little bit out of control as she lost the handle. Then comes crashing in to try and grab the loose ball, and she'll be called for the foul. Once again, Evan Hardy looking at the platoon substitutions. .707 to go, still a 20-point game. Cougars trying to wrap up second straight championship league title tonight at Mount Royal. Backcourt violation. You can see Saskatoon Christian thinking there should have been a foul there. They don't get the call. Ball goes back over to the Souls. Rack controls. And tries to keep it alive. Ball will stay with Evan Hardy. Must have last been touched, yeah, by Mackenzie Fredland. Under 7 to go. Friendly bounce, that'll drop. 18-point game. First are going to look for the three-point answer. Long on that attempt. There for the rebound, Perpick.
Well, there's one of the ones where you don't need to shoot it that quick. I mean, I'm not sure there's enough time for Hardy here, but...
don't need to give him extra time to work with. Scrambling play here for Saskatoon Christian. Ball out of bounds, will stay with the Cougars.
And that's something that the defense could do too, is you know that they're going to make that extra pass. So if you're diving back towards the basket, you can pick that off, intercept that one.
Hardy substitution. Mackenzie and Wanning back in. Perpick out. Firster underneath, great move.
Great move, I love the up and under. A good hesitation to the right and then come back to the left.
Back to a 20-point Cougar advantage. Cuff controls. Inside.
Good position inside.
Unable to get it to go is Nwani. Firster on the run in the other direction. Some contact underneath. Firster gets it to go. Once again, you've got to feel like Evan Hardy may be looking for the offensive foul on that one.
They can't seem to get any breaks shooting-wise or defensively. It's been a tough sled. Like I keep saying, they keep working hard. They're doing the right things defensively. They're just not seeming to get any breaks with the ball last touch or even on that one. It's a good hustle play to try to draw a charge, but it's you don't get the call. That one's more of a 50-50. You can't really bank on those ones, but the rest of their defensive hustle has been there for sure.
See a good cheering section here for the Hardy Souls at Mount Royal, remaining Hardy to the end. Doesn't look like it's going to work out for them in this Championship League final. They're down 22 with 5:47 to go. Game 1 of our doubleheader tonight. A reminder, game 2 coming your way after this one. The boys basketball final in the Championship League. Bedford Road taking on Saskatoon Christian School. Coming out of a timeout, Evan Hardy's ball. This is LaPierre picking up the dribble, looking inside, trying to feed Gabby Long. It's Christian that comes away with it. Right into the hands of Arnaud. Arnaud takes it in, can't get it to go. Rapetsky there for the rebound, and trying to bounce it back up high was Hannah Ashby on the run in the other direction with a lay-in, Kendra Cup. Arnaud forced to pick up the dribble. Chivaldi will get it into the front court for the Cougars.
Looks like neither team is going to give up any space, even though the score is fairly lopsided. But I would say the Saskatoon Christian has just been making more quality passes to get their teammates open. That seems to be the biggest difference in the game. They're just any pass they do make is to a better opportunity, where sometimes Hardy hasn't had that opportunity to get higher quality shots because they haven't been able to move the ball.
Cougar foul goes against Taylor Furster, she'll head out of the game, replaced by Kylie Fredlund. Halfway home in the fourth and final quarter of this championship league, championship final. Cougars have led virtually the entire way, looking for their second straight title. Well, it's been a few minutes since we had a jump ball there.
We had such a frenzy at the beginning of the second half that, yeah, it's all right not to see that. It means that they're controlling the ball a little bit better. So, but that was more of a hustle jump ball.
Yeah.
So
the rack turnaround shot won't go. Renault comes away with it. Picks up the dribble, gets it ahead into the hands of Tervelda. Now looking down low for Opetsky. Good defense by Evan Hardy underneath. Rack near side, now brings it up high a little bit into the hands of Linklater. High screen. Linklater picks up the dribble, gets it back as she had it knocked away. Puts up the shot, short on that attempt, as is Kendra Cuff on her attempt, and will get a foul down low.
Yeah, just take a little bit more time to finish off those shots. But as we watch the university, it's not easy scoring in there. You see all those girls that have a hard time scoring. It's just so many hands, so many things going on. Bodies are bumping. So
running take no good. Mackenzie Nwani just gets to the front of the rim. Glad you brought up that university basketball. I wanted to make mention of that. Man, oh man, what a great season for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. I have the great privilege of doing the play-by-play for all of their home games. Again, a silver medal in Canada West, a silver medal at Nationals. Once again, Coach Lisa Tomaitis doing a great job with that program. Advanced to that championship game, had a halftime lead down in Regina. And unfortunately, second half got away from them, but man, oh man, great season for the U of S Huskies.
No, that's it. Our house was watching those games, and just a lot of excitement to beat Regina. And Carleton just looked like that defensive team that they talked about. So it was impressive to watch that too. If you're a basketball lover, it's just fun watching good basketball. Just like here, there's so many nice little plays that they're making, like that drive there. I know it didn't pay off, but it's the right play to do. And as she gets stronger and she goes, she's still got another year left. Next year she'll be finishing those off. So it's just those developmental things that just, you keep doing the right things, making the right choices, the game gets funner and a lot easier to play.
Fredlund has it knocked away. Linklater looking to go on the run. Pass to her denied by Arnaud. So Cougars get it back. This is Arnaud up top. And a size mismatch there. Kendra Cuff getting in there. Try and rip it away, and we'll get a foul called. Mass substitutions again for Evan Hardy. They'll take it back over on the foul.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, the substitutions are pretty quick for Hardy, but the other part of the whole process of this league is developmental.
Yep.
You know, they're still trying to get better. Even though this is their last game of the year, they're still developing these players so that because they are young, they're going to be back next year. They're going to try to improve every step of the way, and this is just one of those steps. It's tough to be on the bottom side of this, but they're doing, it's part of the process that they're working on.
For sure. Quinn Douglas just checked into the game, her first shift, as you said. Coach Bolt's looking to go a little bit deeper into the bench. Wearing number 4. Haven't seen a ton of Mackenzie Masick. Number 9 for Saskatoon Christian. Just an incredible shot there. Unable to get it to drop as Terveldi underneath Fredlund. Get another tie-up. 2:22 to go.
We talk about jump balls. It reminds me of when I played, and it was a long time ago, and it wasn't any possession arrow.
Yeah, actually did the jump ball.
That was a long game, so I love the possession arrow. Used to be a...
Oh, running take won't drop for Dimitrition. So the run in the other direction is Mackenzie Masick. Will get a foul. Looks like they're going to get Dimitrition for the foul. Brooklyn Babo checking back in for Evan Hardy. Dimitrition out with that foul. To the free throw line, Mackenzie Masick. Masick goes 1 for 2. And then there for the putback shot, Kylie Fredland. That'll make it a 23-point Cougar lead under 2 minutes to go. Running take, that one no good for Baba. Second chance will drop for Katie Perpick. And then a steal on the inbounds pass and a friendly roll underneath. Cassidy McLean gets it to go. Well, nobody really giving up in this one. Good to see the intensity here in the last couple of minutes in this one. Chance for a couple more Evan Hardy points here, perhaps. McLean, running take. That one no good. Second chance. Perpick no good. And then we'll get a foul. Looks like they're going to call Quinn Douglas for it. More Evan Hardy substitutions. Kendra Cuff, Gabby Long back in. Out go Perpick and McLean. 1:33 remaining. Firster, she'll pick up the dribble. This is Fredland. Losing the handle and getting it back is Masick. Off-balance shot in traffic. Firster can't get it to go.
Well, I was just watching Firster on that play. You know, we haven't really talked a lot about her in this game because she maybe hasn't put up as many points as actually she did last year, but she's doing so many small things like the defensive rebounds. She usually comes up with it. She's usually causing havoc in the paint for the Hardy Souls. So she is one of the leaders of this team, and she did it really quietly tonight. But I just want to point out that she did have a really good game defensively and moved the ball offensively. So she's got a lot of responsibility there.
She disrupts the first attempted inbound pass. Second one getting a hand on is Masick. Will stay with Evan Hardy. 1:04 remaining. Hardy lucky to keep the inbound pass alive, tracking it down long, leads to the shot underneath. Nice take. Kendra Cup gets it to go.
It gives a lot of testament to the Hardy is that they keep playing hard here. It doesn't matter what the score is, and that's a really positive attribute. You're always coaching your kids to play as hard as they can, and they're doing it right to the end here.
Shot clock just about expired on on Saskatoon Christian. Hardy comes away with the steal, gives it back, then steals it back, and then that looked like about 17 steps. I mean, NBA, that sort of thing's okay.
Yeah.
But here we actually call them travels.
Yeah. You get as many steps as the amount of zeros that you have on your salary, I think. So.
Quinn Douglas going to be called for the foul. A little bit of a shove there.
And I think they're calling it an intentional, so it's 2 shots on the ball. Just because it wasn't a play on the ball.
Douglas goes over and has a word at the bench with her head coach, Stacy Bolt. Terveldi to the free throw line. Right at the front end. .28 seconds to go. No good on either attempt for Terveldi. I'll mention will be Saskatoon Christian ball. following the intentional foul on Quinn Douglas. The inbounds pass finds Fredlin. She works her way through traffic. And then underneath, just expected it to be a tie up there just because that's what we've seen a lot of tonight. But it's just going to be a foul against Gabby Long.
Looks like 2 shots bonus because they're both in the penalty.
So to the free throw line will head Kylie Fredlin.
I guess we've talked quite a bit of what Hardy hasn't done, but what Saskatoon Christian has done is control the ball fantastic. I mean, coaches, when I talked to them earlier this season, the turnovers were pretty high. I mean, they still had turnovers, but they weren't costly ones today. And but they created a lot of turnovers and a lot of great shots like that by Kylie, and they always got to a better opportunity. So I think full credit goes to them for their game plan and their execution today.
Absolutely. Time winding down in this one. Congratulations, Saskatoon Christian School, going to clinch their 2nd straight championship league title, 65-46. The final score. They got the early lead. They never looked back. Great game.
Yeah, no, they had the full game today. They had the hustle. They had the smart plays, and they executed really well. And they had a few players step up that just controlled the ball for them today.
So congratulations once again to Saskatoon Christian School. Game 1 of our doubleheader is in the books. Game 2 coming your way next, as it will be Bedford Road and Saskatoon Christian School in the Boys Basketball Championship League Final. Until then, on behalf of Paul Engen and the whole Shaw TV team, I'm Simon Hyatt. Thanks for watching.